Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. My name is Leon Jones, and I got a treat for you tonight because this is something I wanted to do. Now, I tried to do it on my stream last week, and my stream got taken down, but I'm going to talk about that series. It's called I Love a Mama's Boy. It's basically the flip side of Smothered. Now, Smothered was about the mother-daughter type relationship where the mother and daughter were so close together, they were basically suffocating each other if a relationship were to pursue the men that were pursuing the mothers and daughters wouldn't have a chance. Why? Because the mothers and daughters always put each other first. Now, when it comes to I Love a Mama's Boy, you are finding the same similarities, or let's say there are similarities. Now, you have to watch I Love a Mama's Boy very carefully to understand what's going on. Because if you don't, you're going to miss a lot. Because there are some portions where the mothers are right. Because some of these ladies that want to marry these guys, there's one in there named Emily. She wanted a $40,000 engagement ring. I believe that is crazy. She wanted a house, family. It's nothing wrong with wanting that. But this series depicts how soft men are and how bougie some of the women are. Now, fair use, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. I'm going to put on some trailers. And I'm going to share my sound. Now, fair use. I'm going to just run this trailer. I Love My Mama's Boy. And you'll find out what a real love triangle is. Fair use.
Everything about our relationship is perfect, except for one thing, his mom. About it.
People don't understand.
Now, again, this is a series where you will find out how the sons always put their mothers first. Now, some of these mothers have husbands, but you never hear anything about the husbands. The husbands are very weak. Now, you look at this first couple, and you're going to find out what I'm talking about. Fair use.
His mom, there are no boundaries. We don't have that intimacy anymore.
That's certainly spicy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a therapist or psychologist, but what is that?
In life, there's a hierarchy, and I'm right up top.
She is gonna make the final call.
And that's a horrible feeling to have. This is your life.
Again, you're already seeing how much these mothers are matriarchal. Now, that mother that was in the store with her son buying lingerie. Now, how many mothers and sons go in the store and buy lingerie? And the mother says, this is all spicy. You don't see that too often. But these are guys who are trying to have relationships, but the mothers keep on interfering with their relationships. Fair use. Let's continue.
You really need to take my son from me. It's always just been me and Michael. You know, I'm his mom, like I'm supposed to protect him.
Hey,
but
Mom,
it's just
a-
so hard, honey.
Mom.
You're my only one.
Who is she?
job.
I don't know who she is. What is your mom doing? Setting you up on a date?
I don't know. I don't know how to
Are
respond.
you serious?
Fair use. Now, you see in here, these moms are acting like children. They have husbands. Again, their husbands just want to stay out of everything. These boys are typical mother's boys. Now, in this series, which comes on TLC, the mothers are doing everything for these boys. So these boys never grow up. Now, I'm not even going to give the women a pass either, because they never grow up either. They're living in fantasy land. They want the careers, the education. And a lot of these individuals come from yuppie areas. And when I mean yuppie areas, they live in areas that the property value is very high. And some of the states that I can tell you, there's Connecticut, there's California, Florida, I believe Illinois, and Maryland, to name a few of those states. But this is a series where if you have sons and you're trying to pursue a relationship, you need to keep your mother out of your business. I know mothers are very protective of their sons, and dads can be very protective of their daughters. Now, a number of these women are also Generation X women. So in the end, a number of these mothers are living through their children. Fair use. Let me continue.
This is not the type of girl that I want for my son. You're pig. Just go away.
I don't have any more patience to fix the relationship with his mother.
Emily, just break up.
I would never tell my mom, you need to butt out.
I begin to question where I stand in his life. If he's not going to put me first, then I'm not really sure where we're going to go from here.
Well, you know what's funny? When I talked about the pyramid, about guys, where they rank with some of these women, well, on this show, these women are put at the bottom of the pyramid. Now, even during some of the other trailers that I'm going to present to you, you're going to see how the mothers are always trying to control what's going on in the household that they don't live in. This mother right here, she's afraid that her son is going to leave her. She never let her son grow up. This is what happens when women are allowed to run the household. Let's continue.
Oh, Shakib, you're not gonna leave me. Mama gonna die.
That is not true.
You are the one
Don't
make my life miserable. I'm sick of you.
Well, again, you see how the son had to revolve his whole life around his mother, and the mother had a husband. Fair use. Let's get to the next one.
Grammarly makes communication at work one click
Excuse me
simpler.
for the commercials here.
Whether you're looking for a new job or you
All right, number two.
I love Matt so much,
If you
but
look
Matt's
at
always
what's
struggled
going
with
on,
setting boundaries with his mom.
there's
I love
Matt
everything
Fitz.
about Steph, but there's nobody that I'm closer to in the world than my mom.
Shopping we go.
You're the best.
After 10 years together, we're finally getting married, but Brian's a bit of a package deal.
Well, in this clip right here where you have Brian, his mother, and Tracy. Now, Tracy, this is one that was very hard to figure out for me. And I'm going to tell you why it's hard. The lady sitting on the right named Tracy. And of course, these three individuals, they're from Miami, Florida. But Tracy already came to the relationship with kids already. Now, she's talking about being put first, but if you really think about it, Brian, who's the gentleman in the middle, and of course, this is Brian's mom. See, Tracy is complaining about Brian's mom being put first, but in actuality, Tracy is not going to put Brian first because the children Tracy has are very small. Now, again, this series with the Mama's Boys shows you how men go into the real world when they're raised by their mothers, they can't relate to real masculinity. They can't relate to masculinity because they've been brought up to be feminine. And again, the mothers are always running the show. Fair use, fair use.
There you go. My relationship with my son Brian is very close and normal.
I wouldn't say normal. He's 29 and she still makes him breakfast every day.
Yeah, she does make some fire eggs. Good job, Mom.
My mom does give the best massages. She knows exactly what I need.
I know I do.
My son, Shakib, is my friend.
Now, you see why these boys have a hard time making it in the real world? Because the mothers are always catering to them. You just saw in one clip, the mother is feeding her son. These boys don't cook. These boys don't even clean up after themselves. Now, this mother right here, she basically clips her son's toenails and fingernails. She's gone to the gym with him. She is a flat out hypochondriac when she doesn't get her way. When he went out with Emily the first time, because Emily and her son Shakib broke up for 6 months, well, the mother, I believe her name was Lana or Lana, she didn't like Emily. Now, don't get me wrong. After watching a couple clips of Emily, I'm not sure if I care too much about Emily either, because Emily, she's a young girl. She wants to have a family, but when you go in there looking for a $40,000 3-carat ring or an engagement ring, something tells me that you're not going to be in that relationship long. You're going to end up palming that ring because you're going to get tired of it. And Emily is looking at having a family through the eyes of fantasy. Fair use. Let's continue.
It's a beautiful relationship. I don't know why people even find it taboo.
Shakib,
Yes.
do you like to drink some water? Don't get embarrassed. He's very independent.
But he still lives with you.
Yes.
And he's 31.
Yes, I know.
Now, this goes back to the old scenario that I talked about, grown kids living at home. Shakib is 31 years old, living at home. Do you see how the mother caters to him? Now, of course, he's not going to find a woman of today that's going to do that. Now, he's always going to put his mother first. There's nothing wrong with loving your mom, but this is a grown child, and the mother says he's independent. No, he's not independent. He depends on his mother. Although he has a father who lives in the house, the father didn't teach him anything because everything was basically taught to him by his mother. And the mother, when she doesn't get her way, she acts like a hypochondriac. She says she's going to die. She says she's sick. She does not want to give up her son. Now, it's nothing wrong with protecting your son when it comes to these wicked women out there. But he is 31 years old, still living at home. And I do believe he's going to continue to live at home. The failure launch syndrome is in this clip. Again, 31 years old, failure to launch. In the end, this boy is going to suffer. Certainly, he's buffed, he goes to the gym, but he's weak. He doesn't stand up for himself. Do you believe a woman is going to respect him? Absolutely not. Fair use. Let's continue.
Maybe that's an issue.
You dropping juice all on your mouth?
Oh, he spends a lot of time with his mom.
Are we gambling together?
Party. I got a baby boy at home too, but it is not like your relationship at all.
I stayed here for our relationship. Mike and I did not move to LA,
Hey.
and we are actually now closer to his mom.
Mom knows best.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to.
You know, next month we're gonna do the honeymoon. Down to come?
I'm up for it.
Now, in this clip, now you see Brian and you see his mother. Now, I actually did see the whole episode. This is in episode 2. Well, the mom goes on a honeymoon with her son and his wife, and they also brought the kids along. Now, Tracy is the single mother. Well, she was a single mother until she got married to Brian. Now, in every marriage or in every relationship, you should put your spouse or your partner first. Now, I'm doing this because I'm showing women how we feel when we run into a lot of your baggage. You call us insecure. You call us not understanding. But now the roles are on, or the shoe is on the other foot. And in the end, it's not going to be as easy dealing with a mama's boy. You're not going to respect this mama's boy. And this mama's boy is never going to have any type of girlfriends. And let me put the shoe on the other foot as well. Switch it to the mama. The mama's not going to have any man in her life. Because what is happening with I Love a Mama's Boy, you're basically seeing a son-husband relationship. Fair use. Let's continue.
Who brings their mother-in-law on their honeymoon?
Yeah.
This is not how a marriage is supposed to work.
I just need to know who comes first, me or your mom?
Is that a real question?
Yeah, it is.
I think you can grow with Steph. And so I think your mom could be motivating you to be more selfish than you should be.
I think he's still trying to figure out if Stephanie is the right person.
Liz is telling my family our relationship is never going to go anywhere.
I don't want to.
Well, Liz was that white woman, the skinny white woman, who's selfish. Now, with Liz and her son, the son's father died when Liz's son was 8 years old. So, of course, Liz had to do all the work. Now, guess what generation a number of these women are from? Most of them are from Gen X. Now, I say that because when it comes to parenting in my generation, Gen X, a number of the women became friends to their children. And in the end, when you become friends to your children are going to do what they want to do. There's no discipline or order in the house. And eventually your children are going to turn to disrespect you. And this is what's going on in the house. You're allowing your son to be the man of the house, but he doesn't even know what a man is because he wasn't taught to be a man. The only thing he was taught to do was revolve his whole life around you. And when that has happened, these mothers have shadowed or sheltered their boys so much, these boys don't even know how to relate to other men. Now, you see other people are talking about these son-husband relationships, these mother or son-husband relationships, where the mama's boy is basically the husband. The mother cannot do without the son. And if you really grasp everything that's going on, the mother makes all the decisions. Let's continue fair use. Fair use. This video is not being used for any monetization. My channel is not monetized, nor will it ever be monetized, because I want to continue to do videos like this, because you need to know what's going on with the mama's boy. Fair use.
I apologize to you.
I'm leaving. I'm crying. Just stay here. I don't need you.
You don't deserve my son.
I don't need your son.
If I accept this job opportunity, everything will change.
Do you think you'll be able to sustain your relationship?
I have no idea.
Kim, would you mind that I have a private moment with Matt?
Right now?
Yes. Could we have the room, please?
Now again, a number of these women who want to get with these mama's boys are in their 20s. Now here's the problem. From my humble opinion, they're not made to be wives. They want it all. They want the career. They want the family. They want the marriage. But they haven't prioritized anything about their lives yet either. And of course, all these mothers, these young girls have learned everything from these mothers who are my age. Fair use. Fair use. Let's continue.
That's not devious, is it?
My name's Jen Hiddle. I live in West Lafayette. And
So Matt and I currently live in Matt's old bedroom.
Love you.
It's not an ideal living situation because Matt is a total mama's boy.
Good morning.
Morning.
Time to get up. There you go.
Kelly.
There you go.
Now you see what's happening here. Kelly is the mom's name. And what Kelly is actually doing, she's getting mad up. Now here's what you need to know about Matt and his girlfriend, Kim. They're actually living in the same house that their parents live in. In other words, this is a grown man. He's right around 27, still living with his mama. And his girlfriend is the same age. Now, the girlfriend, when you see her, the blonde, Kim, yes, she talks like she has some sense. But again, she's on that nonsense as well, because she wants to be married again. She wants to have her own place. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the end, you have to be able to read through all the smoke. She's also selfish. And a number of these individuals are, I call them yuppies. They're suburbanites. They're not people like myself who are accustomed to getting their hands dirty. They're not doing construction. I mean, you look at the way these boys look. There's nothing in them that's very masculine. And the females, they're young. And these females also live in their parents' house as well. There's one named Stephanie who lives in her parents' house. Now, when it comes to a man, when you're 27 years old, 31 years old, you should be ready to leave the house. But when mom's doing everything for you, your laundry, your cooking, you're not going to want to leave the house. You're getting everything for free. And these boys don't even have to work because mommy will give it to them. Let's continue. Fair use.
You're welcome. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Still warming up to the idea of living with Matt's mother. And it's just a lot more challenging than I initially thought it would be. Because Matt and her are so close. They work together, so they carpool in the morning. Kelly and Matt are always planning something, whether it's pedicures or our next vacation. I'm totally the third wheel with them. And instead of us.
I mean, there's one thing you all have to look at too. As a man, look at the types of dogs they have. Now, are you going to see a man with one of these little, I don't even know what kinds of dogs they are. I don't know if they're Yorkies, but I wouldn't be caught with a dog like that. And you look at him sitting there with his mama, yucking it up. Now, this is a boy who will never grow up. And his girlfriend thought she was the third wheel. Well, she is the third wheel. But to some of you ladies, when we have to deal with your grown kids living at home, when we have to deal with your pets, your girlfriends, your parents, and when we talk to you about it, we're told we don't understand or we're insecure. Now the shoe is on the other foot. And when we speak up, you basically deny everything. You think it's great because a number of you ladies are used to that chaos. Well, this young girl named Kim, she just walked into chaos. Fair use. Let's continue.
Going out for a date night. He'd rather hang out on the couch drinking his sleepy time tea with his mom.
It's a great system.
Yeah.
Right, Kim? Kelly. Oh, Kelly.
Fair use. Fair use.
Keep cool and comfortable in Foamies by Skechers. They're colorful, lightweight footwear that are stylish, comfortable, and 100% waterproof. Plus, they're washable and come in fashionable styles for the whole family. Make a splash in colorful comfort with Foamies by Skechers.
For Valentine's Day this year, Mom said she would go and help me get Kim a gift.
This looks beautiful.
I want to put a little more spark back into mine and Kim's relationship. What are your thoughts?
Now, here's the one I told you about. How many sons have gone into a lingerie shop with their mothers? That's crazy. Now, you're not going to hear it from me, but you're going to hear it from these salespeople tell you how crazy the mom is. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you. Fair use. Fair use.
Yeah, that's certainly spicy.
Yeah. There is some intimacy that has fallen short because, we do live with my mom. And she thinks that my mom sometimes is around a little bit too much.
I'm Eve. What's your name?
Oh, hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
It's nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you too.
This is my son, Matthew.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
So what brings you in?
Well, my son wants to get something beautiful for his girlfriend with a little bit of razzle-dazzle for Valentine's Day. I was hoping that you could help us.
I've been in business for 13 years. I do not have a lot of mothers and sons shopping for lingerie at my store.
Come on in. Let's
Okay,
talk.
great.
Yeah,
Thank you
let's
so
talk.
much.
You see where it's getting to? The mother and the son have walked into a lingerie store. The mother, she's calling all the shots. And you look at the son, the baby boy. In fact, he has no hair on his face. He's not even walking square. He's not saying anything. Mommy's doing all the talking. And see, this is why guys like this say their mothers are strong women. No, the mothers aren't strong women. It's just that the sons are afraid of their mothers. And this woman has a husband. You don't see the husband because the husband basically stays out of their affairs. The husband has let the mom run his son. And now you look at this boy right here. This boy is very feminine. His mom hasn't taught him anything about women because in retrospect, she wants to control his life. She doesn't want him to have anybody in his life. She wants him to be around her. And if you don't believe me, let's continue. Fair use.
Yeah. That's really weird to me. But hey, I don't know. This is stunning.
What do you think, Mom?
I like it. Wow.
Hold on, I gotta show it to you.
Okay.
You wanna
Yeah.
hold her for
Yeah.
me?
All right, let's go here.
You got it?
If I ask my mom her opinion, I'm gonna get a for sure guarantee of a.
You see the salespeople, they're laughing at these two because what you see is not normal. But you have a number of individuals who really think that this nonsense is something that most of us guys who are masculine do with our mothers. Now, don't get me wrong, my mother is still alive and well. She's 81 years old, but I would never hang out with my mother in a lingerie store. I would never have my mother kiss me on the lips. I do love you very much, Mom. You did your work to raise me to be the man I am. But Dad gave me the tools of masculinity. It's dads, when they know their role, create the example for their sons to follow. This guy, look at him. He didn't have that example. So the person he's always going to follow is his mom, and he will never move away from his mom. And I'm going to prove it to you. Fair use.
A good response. If you had to pick, which one would you go with?
I do like the cheetah.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
What do you think? Which one do you like?
I think this one might be better. I think it's gonna make Kim feel sexier.
Sexier?
And it's different.
That's true.
Which is good.
Okay.
So, and I think she'll like that more.
It's spicy, elegant.
Now you see how the boy, he couldn't even make a decision. He hesitated. He should already know what he likes for his girlfriend, but he was afraid to really speak his mind because he was going to offend his mother. Now, this mother, this is Kelly. During the show, she's very devious. You guys got to watch the series to know it's 3 seasons. But I'm just capping off at season 1. And this is what you ladies are getting. When these boys are living with their mothers. The same way you bring us chaos with your dogs and cats and your grown kids, and you're taking care of your elderly parents, your job, your education, everything that you put above a man, the favor is being returned to some of you women. And I love a mama's boy. You don't believe me? Watch this clip. And please get the likes up in this video. Get me to 2,100 subs. Fair use.
So I don't think we'll have any problems.
My doctor told us about GoodRx to help us save money on our prescriptions.
Did you know that people everywhere are
I have seen like 2 marriages that you had that didn't pan out the way that you planned, honestly. Not to be a jerk, but honestly, they didn't. But it's like at the same time, I never felt like this about anybody else the way I did with Steph.
Now, this is a crazy one named Liz. Now, Liz was always playing basketball with her son. Now, unfortunately, with this guy here, his mom had 2 failed marriages. Now, some of these moms here, just to set the record straight, they only had 1 child. Some of them had a couple of children. I believe Kelly had a couple of children. You don't see the daughter. I know one of them was a daughter. Now, this guy right here, he played basketball, and his mom was always there. She was in his life, and she's still in his life. Fair use.
I think you're just like rushing into things. 26 is still a baby.
But I'm not that young, though. I graduated from college like 5 years ago. Like, I'm not that young. What is it about Steph that you don't like?
Before you lived with her, you called me every night to say goodnight. Now you do almost every night, but not all the time. Well, and now you've started skiing. You never skied.
Because I always played basketball.
Because nobody skis when they get older.
What do you mean no one skis when they get older? Half the people on the mountain are older. You don't even know what you're talking about. You've never been.
When you ski, you're supposed to.
Now, this is a situation where the mother doesn't want to let go. So she's trying to make up something like, okay, who does skiing? A lot of people ski. Again, this is a Generation X mother who's very selfish herself. She is actually trying to live her life through her son. Now, it's a little bit more twists and turns in this series, I Love a Mama's Boy, than it was with Smother. Smother was very easy to figure out because basically you had a sister-daughter type relationship. It was basically black and white. If you're a man, you're definitely not going to fit into that relationship because the daughter and the mom are going to put each other first. That was already made to be the situation. But here, you got the boys, they don't say too much. And then you got the third wheel, the girlfriend, and the girlfriend thinks the mom is the third wheel. And the guy thinks he's always in the middle. I'm going to get to the middle in a minute, but let's continue. This mother believes she should always be first. Fair use.
To start when you're little, it's dangerous, and I don't like those pictures you send me on the ski lift with the mountain in the background. That gives me heart palpitations.
I need something to do in the winter that's fun. I'm an athlete.
Playing basketball.
Yo, but I
Call
can't.
your mother.
Okay, but
I will come meet you here. We will play basketball. There you go. After Michael's father passed away at such a young age, it's kind of like it wakes you up to think that someone at that young of an age can pass away. But that's why I am as.
Now, what she did not tell you, the son already told you, she was married twice. So there were two men in his son's life. Now, you never hear her talk about the other man in her life. You hear about the father, the first father who passed away. But generally, this mother, although she's Caucasian, you have some of them that believe they're the mother and the father as well. They didn't have to. Some of them chose to be the mother in that situation. Now, when somebody passes away, you can't help that. It does happen. But when you have relationships that fail, and you're a male or female, and this mother is basically talking to her son about relationships through her failed relationships. But this boy, he's afraid to speak up for himself. This is why he will never be a husband. You don't believe me? Fair use. Again, I'm using these clips from the show I Love a Mama's Boy. Just to let you know, YouTube, I'm not looking for monetization for this video, and I'm not looking for monetization for my channel. I am using this information for educational purposes only. Fair use.
As careful as I am with his choices.
It's like I feel like I'll be in between you and Steph, and it's like this girl that I love is pulling me one way, you calling me on the other hand, pulling me this way. I'm over here getting stretched out, and it literally feels like it's a competition between y'all two.
Well, it is a competition.
You see, his mom is trying to live young again. It's not a competition. And any of you guys, and females do this all the time. When they find a man, they have the chaos on one hand, their grown kids, grandkids, kids, everything that they're doing, they say, well, I'm in the middle. No, you're really not in the middle. What it is, you want to keep the chaos going because what you're trying to do is, in your mind as women, you're trying to keep the peace for everybody. But what you don't do is keep the peace. You keep the chaos going. This grown man, over 6 feet tall, his mother just said it. It is a competition. No woman should have to compete with a guy's mother for love. You love your mother differently than you love the woman, or vice versa, the man, if we're dealing with men, but we're dealing with grown boys in this situation. Fair use. Let's continue.
I can't with that, though. What you need to come to terms with is that the best for me at this moment right now, to me, is Stephanie.
Okay, well, we'll see. I'll help you figure that out.
Why do I need your help with figuring that out?
Because I'm your mother.
But that's not the answer to everything. That's not always the answer, is because I'm your mother.
That's the way it should be. I should always be first, okay? If Steph is the one that you end up with, then...
You see what she just said? I should always be first. So, who's the son dating? Stephanie or his mother? You be the judge.
She could be 1A, but don't forget that I'm 1.
I'm Justina.
And I'm Jason.
And we've been together for 5 years.
Justina and I met because I was moving into an apartment and needed a roommate.
We moved in with each other, best of friends for a whole year, roommates, and then...
And I couldn't take it anymore. The reality is I always knew that she was the one.
I feel like the luckiest girl.
Well, again, the fair use, I've seen this clip as well. These two don't get along either for the same situation. The mother. And when you are dealing with a third wheel, and you look at how some of these mothers act too. The one that I showed you in the previous clip, she acted just like a child. And if I'm a grown man, would I want to even deal with the mother? Absolutely not. Fair use. Fair use.
Girl. Just everything he does, from being adventurous, having the biggest heart, he's funny, and I feel like every single quality that I've looked in for a man, Jason checks all my boxes. I just love him so much. Kick it to Taylor. Taylor is our 2.5-year-old.
Now, with Jason and Christine, I believe that's her name, this is a tricky one because they weren't married. And that child that you see, that is their child. Now, again, Jason lived with his mom. Now, here's where the mom manipulates Jason. The mom's always taking care of that child. So when you are attaching something to the mom, that woman's also going to find a way to take control of you. And that's what she's done to Jason. Now, when you watch these clips, again, fair use, I'm just educating you all on what happens when you get involved with somebody that's already attached to something. And I'm not saying never shout out your mom and love your mom. Like I said, I love my mom. But there's a time where you got to cut the apron strings. And a number of these moms never cut the apron strings. Fair use.
Daughter.
I know every parent's biased, but my kid is the best. Our kid is the best.
I catch you.
Hey, kiss.
Taylor was a surprise that came to us, and we're not married yet, but we finally are starting to plan our wedding. Woo! Slippery!
I think we waited so long to get engaged because we skipped a step in this whole traditional getting married thing. Yeah.
Well, what they did, they put the cart before the horse. But even though they have that child and they're not married, the big problem with Jason and his girlfriend is the mom. The mom is always in Jason's business. Now, let me find some clips. And here we go. Here's the one right here.
He was trying to warn me, like, hey, you know, my mom's in my life, so I hope you're okay with it. I don't want to scare you off.
I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Now, the mom here is acting like a child. In fact, here's the mom. I believe she's from Illinois. She's the one that has a daughter. She also has a husband. I believe the husband's name is Bill. You don't see Bill. Bill stays out of everything. And that's the problem. When you allow your woman as a man to have all the executive privileges in the household, you get chaos. Now this boy is going to be feminine unless he gets around positive men or masculine to help change his mind, his perspective on the world. But right now, his mother is living through him. You see what's going on. You see the girlfriend right here. Fair use. These individuals are yucking it up. The mother is acting like a child, but she has a husband. Fair use.
As time went on, I realized, yeah, you are attached to your mom's hip.
I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. That was good. Aww. You sound great. Have you been playing a lot?
I would describe my mom as just one of the best things in my life.
Well, you heard it. You heard it for yourself. And in the end, before I go, let me show you one more clip. Fair use.
But Matt's always struggled with setting boundaries with his mom.
I love everything about Steph, but there's nobody that I'm closer to in the world than my mom.
Shopping we go.
You're the best.
After 10 years together, we're finally getting married, but Brian's a bit of a package deal.
Again, this might be a repeat of a video I showed or a clip I showed earlier. This is what happens when you allow your mama to interfere with your relationship.
Mom knows best.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to.
You know, next month we're gonna do the honeymoon. Down to come?
I'm up for it. Who brings their mother-in-law on their honeymoon?
Yeah.
This is not how a marriage is.
Again, I showed that clip earlier, but this is not normal behavior. This is just not normal behavior. It's never been normal behavior. But I'm going to tell you this. As a man and as a woman, now I'm not an expert on relationships. I don't ever put information out there of being some dating coach, but I use common sense. And I know when it comes to dealing with people, you have to see where they are in their lives. In the end, most of us don't. We look at the outside first. We don't vet individuals enough. Now, I'm not saying you interrogate someone to where you're running them away, but you have to understand the lifestyle of some of these individuals. You have to see where they are mentally. We tend to look at the aesthetics of a person and we go along with the aesthetics. You have to see where people are in the mind. And it's not necessarily about feelings, although when you get your feelings involved, it can be catastrophic to you when you attach yourself to somebody who really isn't into you. Now, all these boys, I'm not saying that they did not love the women that they're with. No, I'm not saying that at all. But you ladies, just like I tell men, when there's a big attachment to the mother, that boy right there, if he's been living at home for a long time, or if he's constantly around his mother, you better exit stage right. Because you're talking about being first, you're never going to be first. In fact, you're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole. And the reason why you're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole is these boys out here have no intention. I don't care what they tell you. Oh, I'm going to move out. No, they're not going to move out. When the mom is cleaning their room for them, their mom is cooking for them. And I just showed you clips. Again, you have to watch the shows for yourself. And I'm going to be bringing more trailers out there. And I might even use this video when I do my live next week. I didn't do a live tonight because I had something else to do, but I did say I was going to put a video up. Now, when it comes to boys, you need to be around positive role models or males. Now, I know in this society, the male image has been tarnished. It's been tarnished because we allowed it to be tarnished. We didn't speak up. Now, here's the reason why I say it's been tarnished as well. When it comes to men, I'm not saying we're the smartest creatures, but common sense wise, we do better with our money. Well, all these policies that are put in place, and strap on your seatbelts when I say this, it's really not about men. It's about the women because they spend the most money. Now, a lot of us talk about child support and alimony. Well, women take those resources and put them back into the economy. In other words, women are heavy consumers. Now, they also drain the system of the government benefits as well when they get a little older, especially when they don't take care of themselves health-wise. But going back to the behavior situation that I just saw, when you look at all these boys, they look very timid. Even the one who played basketball, they were afraid to speak their mind. They're afraid of disappointing their mother. But I guarantee you this, if the dad had said something to them, they would have been right in the dad's face. These are the individuals, and these, for the most part, we always talk about how black mothers are. No, these were yuppie white mothers, and of course there was a Middle Eastern mother in there. But regardless, a number of these mothers politically, they could have been liberal, could have been feminist. They had all the power and all the say. No men in sight. And when I hear a boy say, I'm being pulled both ways, in other words, my girlfriend and my mother, they're playing tug of war with me. Well, in the end, that's a female trait. As a man, for the most part, you're almost 30 years old. You should know where you want to go in life. Now, of course, the 20s, that's the age bracket where you'll make mistakes. But getting close to 30, you're having your mom wash your clothes for you, cook for you, do your laundry, and see a number of you men who have failed to launch. You expect your wife to be your slave. And in the end, I'm gonna tell you what these mothers want. They want to keep their sons around forever. They don't want to have to deal with any girlfriends. But flipping the script, it's always been that son and his mother. If a man comes into the mother's life, it's going to be the same type of chaos. So really, when it comes to a number of women out here, and of course, the men in this show, they have baggage. And the baggage is other people. And these are people who are very dangerous because they're easy to manipulate. They're going to take information from bitter women and, of course, docile men. These are individuals who can't keep secrets. The mother and the son haven't grown up. They're always going to be in the same house. In fact, I believe she's a blonde. She was getting ready to move to Texas, and her son got a house built not too far from the mom. And the mom has a key, a bathroom, and I believe the blonde-haired lady was Kim. She decided she wanted to go off to Austin, Texas for a year, which, what does that do? That's going to give the mom more power. And she's actually coming into their house, running their house. If there was a man in the house, that wouldn't happen. But when it comes to these grown kids living at home, it's because of the mothers. well, it's not solely on the mothers. Some of the men did leave. But mothers are very permissive with their children. This is why children have an opinion. This is why children have some type of power and ranking in the household, because the mother gives it to them. And in the end, I want to say this, mothers, you're holding your grown children hostage, and here's what's going to happen. In the end, particularly your boys, they're going to find out what your game plan is, and they will leave eventually if they find the right person who's going to treat them right. Because although you're doing everything for your boys' moms, certainly your boys are going to respect you, but they're not going to respect women. And here's why: because they're going to expect the women that they're with to do for them as you would do for them. In other words, these boys will be looking for a mother instead of a wife. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. If you're looking for more educational content, check out the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel. On that channel, I'll give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and of course, math. Now, if you can't find me on YouTube, you can always check me out on Twitter. And when it comes to the QCIS channel, I take it one step further. Since it's educational, I also post videos up on LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals who are offended by this content, you need not be. Because if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And also, you check me out when I do my live streams every Wednesday. And I did do a video live from Walmart in Frankfort, Indiana. It's still up, about Pride Month. And thank goodness, I'll be glad when this month is over, because we have gone overboard with that. Showed you the Pride Month ice cream. And I did have a comment as well. If you're going to leave comments, make sure you stick with the topic. Because if you're going to come to my channel, be respectful. Because if you're not, I'm going to roast you. Because this is my channel. And tell me how to run the 411 Talk Zone radio show. They'd have somebody who came up here. And what I'm going to start doing with irresponsible people, I'm going to call them out. I'm going to put their comment on my live stream. And I have over 2,000 subscribers. And the ones who participate in my live streams, we'll have fun taking you apart bit by bit. Because I don't allow ignorance on my channel. Won't be tolerated. This is the 411 Talk Zone radio show. I'm here to give an education. You can disagree, but no childlike behavior here. And that's all I have to say on that note. And finally, thank you all for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And that's it for this video. I want you all to share my videos, get the likes up, and hit the Cash App if you wish. I'm not asking, but if you wish. But again, it's my third time saying it. Thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.